very happy to welcome back on the channel Peter Fury. How's things going, Peter?
Yeah, things are going good.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're out in Dusseldorf already.
Yes, we are. We arrived Sunday evening, so we're here now, and yeah, everything's ongoing. I think we've got some kind of a press conference tomorrow at 2:00.
Yeah.
So at the airport in Dusseldorf. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Going to be any superheroes there again, or maybe not this time?
You never can tell with Tyson Fury, so we have to see.
Well, brilliant. Well, fight week's here. Like after all, we've been talking about Tyson Fury fighting Klitschko for many years now. You must be relieved you're here. You're in Dusseldorf, ready to go. It must be really exciting.
Yeah, things couldn't be better for us. We've had excellent camp. Coming into this fight, Tyson's 100%. His weight's bang on.
Yeah.
So everything we've asked for has happened. So we're very happy with his fight, and we're just looking forward to getting it on.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, it's been a bit of a, in terms of there's been a lot of talk about sparring partners and Klitschko tactics pre-fight, using up all the. I heard the things about Jason Gavin and stuff like that. But what I didn't want to really go negative. I wanted to kind of go more positive on some of the younger guys you've had sparring with Tyson, and how you've been saying it's much better to get younger, more up for it fighters who want to come and really have a go at Tyson. I believe also you had yeah, go on Peter.
It's very simple. Look, people like Gavin, you can put sparring partners like high mileage cars and worn out taxis. The older they are, the more crap they are in sparring. So basically, we need fresh blood, young guns, who's going to come out, give it everything. Got no miles on the clock, ambitious, come and give everything they've got. That's the kind of sparring partners I need.
Yeah.
I don't need people with like 200,000 mile on the clock who's just coming to get an easy payday, to get us up the guts, and we can start squealing up and down the floor. I'll have to proper sparring partners, not wannabe boxers.
Yeah. Okay. There was one sparring partner in particular, the young American Cassius Chaney. I believe he was, because he had a fight recently.
Yeah, he did. We had him over in sparring. He was one of the sparring partners we had. He's a tall kid, 6'6". Spars quite good. Has a very similar style to Klitschko. So he was okay. And we had quite a few others. We had a fella called Nicholas as well. He was over. And we've had quite a few actually. I think there's been like between 6 to 8 sparring partners.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. And in terms of Tyson's preparation, like the last few fights, everyone's been going on about what great shape he's in. You can see for yourself how good he looks. Is this the best shape we've seen Tyson in his career?
Yeah, he's in fantastic shape. This is the results of 4.5 to 5 months training camp. So shape alone is not going to win this fight. This is a boxing competition, not a beauty competition. So it's a mixture. But what it tells you is he's in fine shape. He's down 10% body fat. He's like I said, he's firing on all cylinders. So he's very fit. He's able to do the rounds comfortably. So it's all about the skill and who's the better man on the night.
So, like one thing I wanted to find about, like, for Tyson in particular, how do you keep? He must get a little bit. Maybe you've been waiting so long for this fight, and now the week's here. You don't do a lot of training the week before a fight. What do you do to keep yourself busy in Dusseldorf? I know you've got media commitments and things like that. What's you're the trainer. You're sort of guiding Tyson this week. What's the best tactics to use to keep him in the right frame of mind for the biggest?
Well, he's in the right frame of mind. Tomorrow morning they'll get up at 9 a.m. have breakfast. After that, around 10:30, 11 o'clock, they'll go in the gym, do a few light weights. We'll finish off with a little bit of pad work, and that's it for the day, because we've got a press conference at 2:00. So, and that's it. It's all about relaxing, chilling out, and just staying sharp.
Yeah.
So very, very, very little, 10 minutes max on the pads. You know, just a little bit of shadow boxing, just staying loose, and just getting all the energy back in the tank, really. So that's all it is. The rest of it is press conferences and downtime, resting a lot, and this is it. You know, he's as ready as he's going to be.
Brilliant. Well, from what I'm hearing, the German public have really taken to Tyson. They really seem to like, you know, considering Germany's like Klitschko's home ground almost these days. From what I'm hearing, is that the sort of, are you getting a really good response off the German people out there?
Yeah, unbelievable. Tyson's got a massive support out here, and a lot of people seem to be behind him. You know, a lot of people saying to us, they're hoping that Klitschko comes unstuck because he's had long enough here. They're bored.
Yeah.
They want somebody fresh. They want somebody fresh in the division. That's the people we bumped into. That's what's being said to us. And at the airport yesterday, coming in, there was a lot of German fans coming up to Tyson, even in the hotel where we are. You know, wishing him well, and they're all singing from the same hymn sheet, really.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, that's great news. And in terms of obviously I watched the face-off on Sky Sports where they both sent Johnny Nelson was there. Tyson was going on a lot about Klitschko's too old. What are your thoughts on Klitschko's age being relevant in this fight? Do you see that being much of a pro for Tyson and you guys?
Well, I see Klitschko. He's 39, but he's in exceptional condition, and I don't think it's going to come down to condition in the fight. I don't think it's going to play a role. I think both men know what they're up against. You know, Klitschko will be in phenomenal shape himself.
Yeah.
And, you know, so is Tyson. I think it's just going to come down to who's the better man on the night, and it isn't going to come down to conditioning. So it's going to come down to who's the better fighter. And that's what you're looking at.
Yeah. Okay, well, one thing I do want to... Obviously, I know you guys train for every scenario, you know, like most good professionals do. Do you see this going early? Because like when Klitschko's been put under pressure early, he seems to put his foot on the gas earlier as well. We saw it against Pulev. You know, well, initial thoughts. Do you see this being a 12-round fight, or you know, I know you train for every scenario, but how do you? Can I get maybe some sort of idea of prediction from you?
It's just hard to say. You know, these are both big heavyweights, and whoever connects first will have a problem. So basically, it's the one who can get the shot on first. So it could go from round one to any rounds. It just depends on how they gel together once they're in there. You know, it's and how this fight unfolds. So, you know, it's up to Wladimir to negate Tyson's advances, and it's up to Tyson to negate his. So it's all about. I suppose it's all about tactics, and like I said, it comes back to what I've just said.
Yeah.
The better boxer fighter will win it on the night.
Okay, brilliant. All right. So
it can end in 1 round or 10 or 12. We don't really know. What we're concerned with is getting the win at all costs.
Yeah.
If it comes early, it comes early.
Yeah, well, that's heavyweight boxing for you, definitely. Well, moving on from Tyson, we've talked about Tyson Klitschko for ages. I've spoken to you about it 4 or 5 times. I see Hughie's on the undercard. He had a great performance against Zarate the other night. You're keeping him real busy. 2 fights in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's busy. This is his 18th contest. So he's out and he's keeping busy. Don't see Hughie having much problems. I think he's just he's building up his experience. It's good for him to fight on a big stage like this. He's fought on big stages before, but you know, good for him to keep going and getting all the experience. You know, he's just turned 21.
Yeah. And
like I said, he's finishing the year off with 18 fights under his belt.
Yeah, that's very good. It's very good at his age. I can't remember if it was the interview or the interview before. There was talk of the Deontay Wilder thing against Hughie, but they didn't really give you guys enough time to get ready for it. You rightfully said, "Well, give us 8 weeks. We'll be up for it." Is it a case of because you're very confident about Hughie's ability? You've said many times. Is it a case of just keeping Hughie busy until an opportunity comes up? Is that the right way to go with Hughie? Is that? That's the kind of impression.
Yeah, we've got so many things we can do with Hughie. You know, he's young. He's got tons of time. So, like I said, when a good fight comes up for him, you know, we'll jump at it. Until then, he's going to keep busy. So, like I said, with no rush with him, he's just going to keep busy, honing his skills, improving his job, and he's just getting better and better. So, like I said, got no rush with him. But like I said, he's not being coddled or anything like that. You know, if he could fight the Shagheads of the world, the Browns of the world, all these type of people, he'd take them tomorrow. These fights he's tried to make. We've tried to make various fights. We've offered people various monies to fight. We've made nothing back. You know, some people who's like 7 and 8 in WBC. You know, we offered him as well. What's his name? Mark Demori.
Okay.
You know, he turned it down flat. So we offered it him. We offered Brown. We've offered many people. That Leah Pye, he's been offered the fight. He turned us down. What's the other guy as well? He's at number 7, 8 in the WBC. We've offered him a few times and he's turned us down.
Okay. So it's not
Can't
that.
think of his name.
Yeah, it's not that easy to get opponents for him, is it? Because he's quite young. Well, he's very young, not quite young, and he's very dangerous. So you know, if someone that high in the rankings fights Hughie and loses, it's pretty much game over for them, isn't it? In terms of their career, I'm talking about.
Well, this is the problem. So Hughie's in the Who Wants Him club, so it's no problem for us. You know, we're getting in the fight. Not the ideal fight, but like I said, we just got to get what we can get and keep him ticking over.
Oh, brilliant! It was great to see. Great to see he's out busy again after a bit of a tough time last year. But great to see he's keeping active. It'd be great to get your thoughts on what else is going on in heavyweight boxing, Peter. We've got Mr. I know your mind's probably firmly fixed on this weekend, but we've got Joshua and Dillian White coming up. A lot of people are saying Joshua's just going to blow him over. Not really considering Dillian White at all. I know you guys have worked with Dillian White before. Do you see any sort of upset coming in this fight?
You know, it just depends on Dillian's conditioning. You know, like I said, for me, I see Dillian White should come into this fight around 16 and a half stone. You know, and I think they could well be upset on the card. You know, I think Dillian's around 6'3".
Yeah.
So I think this guy needs to be about 16 stone 7. I don't know what that is in kilos. Probably about 105, is it? 106.
Yes, I'm not sure.
So I see Dillian around this easily, no more than 17 stone. If he comes in 17 and under, I think he's got a great chance. He's got a good chin. He's got a good jab, and I see it being a good fight. It's by no means a foregone conclusion. If Dillian prepares right, gets the right sparring, comes in the right condition, nice and light, you know, gets behind the double jab, plenty of movement, I think he can cause Anthony problems. I think it's a good fight between the two of them. You know, it's not a foregone conclusion for either man.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is the exposure and media attention Anthony Joshua gets. There's only really people in boxing that know Dillian White, isn't it? Really, sort of.
Sure, you know, we've seen Joshua blast out some people, and we've not really seen Joshua's boxing skills to that extent because he's just blowing the opponents away. But I'm sure he's a good talent. He's done well in the amateurs, as we know, and I'm sure, like I said, he's not been hit back yet. So let's just see. Let's just see him in a meaningful fight where the opposition's good enough to give him rounds and take shots and give shots back. You never really know the extent of any heavyweight until they get put under pressure.
Yeah, definitely, I can agree more. And
that we've not seen yet.
Yeah, very true. And then also, I was quite surprised. I didn't ever think it was going to happen. David Haye's going to be announcing a comeback after 3.5 years out. I know you guys nearly fought him twice, but then it didn't happen. How do you think he can still make an impact on the heavyweight division at all, or not? Do you think it's too late for him?
No, I do. I think the heavyweight division is very poor at the moment. You know, because when I'm looking at Oh, it was Manuel Chow who tried to get for Hughie as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's the name of it. But when we're looking at these type of fighters, we can't even get them in with a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So it's like anything else. I think the heavyweight division is wide open. I think David A is a lot far better than any of these around at the minute. So why can't he come back? He's a big puncher. He's fast on his feet, and David A will only ever come up short against the bigger guys on the world scene.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. But can he challenge for a world title? Sure, why not? There's nobody out there, is there?
No, there's not. You know, I think that's typical of the heavyweight division. There's probably more people than any other weight division are interested in it, and yeah, it's you know the pool is quite small, isn't it? So that's
yeah, they'll just pick carefully anyway. You know, they're not going to pick no killers for him. They'll just pick him carefully and take somebody's ranking off him when he's up there.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, you know, look at him, Demori. I think what's he ranked? 7, 8, 9. You know, to be honest, no disrespect to the guy, but he's not that ranking. He's got Don King to thank, surely, but
yeah.
that's what it is. That's the heavyweight division.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I'd just like to end on wishing you guys all the best for Saturday. I really can't wait for it. It's really broken into the mainstream as well. Like all my friends who don't really watch boxing, they're all texting me saying, "Oh, do you want to come and watch the fight here?" It really is one of them. It's kind of like a Froch Groves kind of vibe about it. So it's great for Tyson. It's great for you guys, and yeah, just wanted to wish you guys all the best, Peter.
Sure, and thanks a lot, Adam. And like I said, this fight could be one of those where don't blink, or it could be one of those. It's just very hard to say, and that's what makes it so intriguing. But more so intriguing is the fact that you've got a worthy challenger here, very capable of ripping the belts off him, and that's what makes this fight very, very interesting.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So let's just, we will soon see.
We will do. Well, we'll take care of yourself, Pete. Have a really good week leading up to it. I'm sure it's going to be very enjoyable. I'm sure Tyson's going to be in top form. And very nice to talk to you again, Peter.
Thank you. All the best.
Take care. Cheers, Peter. See you later, mate. Bye.